Hey guys, welcome to Lovely J Podcast. This is Coco Boughton, and I'm outside, so if you hear the wind blowing, that's why. So I want to talk a little bit about gang stalking, and I know that's something that we don't hear too much about. And when you do hear about it, and if you do know about it, you automatically assume that the person is crazy or schizophrenic or just try to shut my door, son. Has all kind of emotional issues, and that could be true. It could be true because it could happen to anybody. Well, I only want to bring awareness to it because people don't deserve to be treated less than human. We all have homes and vehicles, and we have our life that we have to live, and anything that violates that and puts us in a position where we can't live our lives. I mean, it's one thing for things to happen and it be a real unexpected accident or something, but it's another thing for things to happen and it's because of a plan that has been strategically put out against a person. I want to read just a little bit about what it says that gang stalking is, and hopefully you're not one of the perpetrators, because the perpetrators can be anybody. It could be your family members, it could be your friend of many years, it could be old people, it can be young people. It just depends on who gets hired for the position, for the role. In gang stalking, there's something called a handler. The handler is the person who sticks close to the subject, investigative subject, to what they do day and night. They're the ones that report back to the big guys, whoever their boss is. I don't know who that could be. Some say it's the FBI, some say it's the CIA, some say that it's InfoGuard, Control Pro, different people. Some say military. I don't know. But I do know it's somebody over this program, and the only way that you can get into this program is if someone with authority, high-ranking authority, puts you into this program, such as detectives, police, somebody with some rank. They got to be like a detective or somebody in the FBI, and you've got to be on a most wanted list, like not a most wanted list, but you'll be put on a community watch list. And once you get put on that community watch list, you are blacklisted. It don't matter who you've been knowing all your life. It don't even matter if you birth your kids, your biological kids. If they are told to turn against you, that's exactly what they're going to do. And you're going to feel it. You're going to know that they did that. You will know. I'm trying to find a good definition of it, because there's not really much on the internet about gang stalking. It's probably, where it's actually called gang stalking, except for Wikipedia. I do see a few things on there. But the real terminology for it is stalking by proxy. That's the real terminology for it. There's no privacy. You don't no longer have any privacy. Once you get put on this community watch list, everybody knows what you're doing in real time. Did you hear what I said? In real time. So those ladies who were asking me about Peach McIntyre, that's how I know, because you've got to be put in real time. Like everything you do, the moment you do it, is sent to somebody else. It's almost like your life is a show for somebody. People are getting paid because you are a target. That's what it is. Okay, so gang stalking, according to Wikipedia, for bullying or harassment of an individual by a group, see mobbing. For real world stalking by a group of people, see stalking and stalking by groups, and also stalking by proxy. Gang stalking or group stalking is a set of presecatory beliefs in which those affected believe they are followed, stalked, and harassed by a large number of people. The term is associated with the targeted individual, TI, virtual community, formed by like-minded individuals who claim their lives are disrupted from being stalked by organized groups intent on causing them harm. The way that Wikipedia describes this is like somebody has a mental illness and this is not really happening. But there are thousands of targets out here, people who have that X on their back that are out here. I have seen big X's put on people, little X's, and I have seen people who are targets also be part of the perps. So it's a large group of people, and the numbers are growing bigger. And if you go back and you check out Snowden is the first one who told us that the government was watching us through our phones, through our laptops. And you know, I don't know why we think these little things are so safe for us, and we put our all into it. Like, we give too much information out over the internet, and then even on social media, I didn't realize, and I look back over the years that I posted on social media certain things, family outings, gatherings, ages, names, places we like to go, places we like to eat, things I like to eat, colors I like. All of this was used against me to try to make me hurt myself. All of this was used against me. Any little information that they could find on the internet, they used it against me. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is, whosoever, like, for one thing, a guy, I didn't even really date him like that, but we were pretty close, and it got where I turned, I saw this man's name. His name was everywhere. I mean, on the internet, off the internet, and at first you would think, oh wow, what a coincidence. And you'll hear people having conversations that, you know, of things that you have only talked about in your home, and you'll think, wow, somebody thinks just like me. No, they don't. No, they don't. It comes from eavesdropping. It comes from peeping toms. It comes from the electronic devices that they have in your house that can pick up your voices and tell everything that you're saying and doing. And it comes from doctors' offices. All businesses are involved in it. Just about every business you go to is involved in it. And if they're not directly involved in it, they're indirectly involved in it because their employees may be, you know, gang stalkers. They may be perps. So who are we calling gang stalkers? Just to break this down. Gang stalkers is anybody who takes part in the program to demise another person, to stalk and harass another person. Anybody who takes part in community mobbing a person while they're at a store, at home, at church, because no areas are off limit. They are community mobbers, and they are what we call gang stalkers. Why we call them gang stalkers? Because 2 or more people are considered a gang. That's why they're called gang stalkers. Why are they called stalkers? If they're such innocent citizens and citizens that are out here to protect and serve community police, aka, if there's such good people who are out here looking to fight crime, then why are they committing crimes? That would be a good question, right? That's what they're supposed to be doing, preventing crimes, not committing crimes. This is why I want people to start standing up and fighting against this, because they are committing crimes. Anytime you are holding somebody against their will, that is committing a crime. When you are breaking into someone's home or their car, that is committing a crime. When you are putting things in people's food, in their houses, I don't care if it's stank bombs or whatever, because this is what brought it on for me today. A stank bomb was put in my house, and it smelled so bad. That's why I'm sitting outside now. My head started hurting, and I started breathing hard and wheezing because of this stank bomb that was put in my house or under my house. I don't know how it got there, but I'm pretty sure it was a person that did it. And these are the people that we're talking about that are those community mobbers. They sneak onto your property and vandalize your things. I brought new things, and my new things have been vandalized, and I've been harassed. I've been bullied. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I couldn't sit back and let somebody bully my mama like that. And knowingly know that, it takes low down individuals to do that. And that's a serious thing. When you can sit back and take part in harassing your own family members to try to get them to unalive themselves, you are a lowlife. You are scum. You are scum. And I pray that you seek God for real, because the God I serve, He cares about me. I know He do. He cares about me. And He is a jealous God. And He will do what He gotta do. And even the Bible talks about these low-life scums that just have reprobated minds. They don't care about hurting you because it makes them feel good, because in their mind, they already ain't no good. They don't feel like they stuck on a black and white cloud. It is either this or that. And most of the time, they choose to be sad, and they choose to be sad and mad instead of being happy and blessed despite, the circumstances. So these so-called innocent community watchers are actually the devil's advocates. They advocate for gang stalking. They are community mobbers. And some of you may be it too, that is listening to this podcast on tonight. And I will tell you, if you are one of those people, one of those perps who like to go around and make certain gestures with your hands, and just you're following the script, is what they call it, following the script of what you've been told to do. Just know that's psychological torture to somebody. Whoever you're doing that to, is psychological torture, and it's emotional torture, and they're probably not getting any sleep at night, and they're probably getting sexually assaulted. They're probably getting beat in their sleep. They are probably getting electronically harassed. And it's a whole lot of other things. Their health is probably deteriorating because they are getting assaulted, and don't even know it. Getting knocked out in their sleep. So if you are man or woman enough to take part in that, you deserve whatever's coming for you. And I don't want to sound like I'm saying you supposed to get hurt. But what I'm saying is you reap what you sow. And many people don't believe that you do. Many people believe in karma. Karma has nothing on reaping what you sow. Because what you are doing to someone else's child or them, it's going to come back to you, and it's going to hurt you when you see how many people you have hurt because you chose to be part of the community mob that turns against this person who is innocent. Mind you, this person hasn't done a thing to you, and most of the people who are being gang stalked don't even know why. They don't know why, and they don't know who. I think about Michael Miller. That case is still a little hot right now. And I bring her name up a lot because when I looked at that video and I saw what she was going through, and I realized that her husband was a narcissist, I said, it looks like she's being gang stalked. A lot of the same treatment that she was getting when she walked into stores is some of the treatment that I get. I could pull into the store and there's nobody there. Then all of a sudden, there's about 10 or 15 people in there before I leave. And they're coming on my aisle, or they are, parked beside me. They never buy anything. They just walk in the store. If they buy anything, y'all listen. If they buy anything, it's going to just be one thing, and they're going to come on back out. And they're going to make sure that you know that they are part of the program. You will know they are part of the program because every time you leave from home, they're going to meet you at their driveway. You'll see them driving out. You see cars pulling off and pulling in front of you and taking off. You see them with the headlights missing and the backlights missing. You will know. You will know exactly what they are. You'll see them taking trash out all the time. Like, one time I went to my doctor's office and I could have sworn, and this ain't no sworn, this is pure fact, 4 people took trash out to the dumpster the whole time that I was sitting there waiting to be seen. Never done that before. But all of a sudden now they're using the dumpster. I've never seen them use the dumpster. But that's one of the ways to harass a person so that they can be made to feel less than. That's what that is. Let me see if I can see anything else on here about gang stalking. Because like I told you, the internet, it does have some things on here. But it's hard to really find it. So let's go back to Wikipedia. The terminology gang stalking. Let's talk about it a little bit. The concept of stalking arose in the 1980s following increased legal equity for women and prosecution of domestic violence. Generally, stalking has a single perpetrator who may sometimes recruit others to act vicariously on their behalf. Vicariously. I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Usually unwittingly. Beginning in the early 2000s, the term gang stalking became popularized to describe a different experience of repeated harassment, which instead comes from multiple people who organize around a shared purpose, with no one person solely responsible. Well, see, they fool you right there. They tell you that you're not solely responsible. But what they don't realize is your soul eventually catches up to all of this. You are responsible for what you do. And sometimes by yourself. Because the isolation you set for me and the other ones that are being attacked is the isolation that you are setting for yourself. And when you can't handle your own mind, because God is not going to show up for somebody with a reprobated mind. You can't handle your own mind. You're going to be just like Judas. And we know what happened to Judas. Judas turned on himself. So while you're trying to push the thought into somebody's head to hurt themselves, or that they're not good enough to be in this world, or be in society, you're pushing that same thought into your own head. Let's look at some of the biggest gangsters out here. Look at Tookie Williams. I just use him as an example. Tookie Williams made all this money. Now, I don't know if he believed in God or not, but he made all this money and he did all these bad things. Big as he was, a bigger man as he thought he was, he got caught eventually. And even when he turned, he ended up being what we call a snitch. That's what he ended up being. He ended up being solicited by the FBI to turn on others. So what does that tell you? Even big men have to bow down to somebody someday. And that's what he did. In order to help himself, he ended up being the very person who he was fighting against. So you see, you don't get away with nothing. It just comes back to you, and what don't hit you gonna hit your kids. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna hit your kids or your generations to come. All right, let's see. If y'all don't believe it hits generations, just start reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and you will see how it does hit generations. Because we are talking about generational hate. That's what this is. It's generational hate. All right. Let's see where we start reading it. Okay. Popularize repeated harassment, which instead comes from multiple people who are organized around a shared purpose with no one person solely responsible. And now that we have online communities, oh my goodness, y'all, the cyber harassment is big and major. And it don't, listen, if you're part of the program, whether you're a celebrity or just an average citizen, they all do the same thing. That's how you know them. They do the same things. They are told to do the same movements. They're told to, do the same gestures. So that's how you know who they are. You'll see them. Once they come around you and do it long enough, you'll be like, okay, I'm tired of this. All right, let's see what this says about online communities. A 2016 article in the New York Times estimated that more than 10,000 people were participating in online communities, organized the conviction that its members are victims of a sprawling conspiracy to harass thousands of everyday Americans with mind-controlled weapons and armies of so-called gang stalkers. Now, didn't I tell y'all, that's what I was telling y'all about the content creators. Content creators, some of them didn't get big just because everybody liked it, what they had. That's not why they got big. That's not why they rose to fame at that particular time that they got big. And notice a lot of content creators got big right here at the pandemic time. It wasn't because they had even good content. And it wasn't because people were bored. But they were put into a program to recognize this list of blacklisted people. They were put into this program. And their job is to come on, give you a little bit of them, and unknowingly, they are acting roles. They are doing skits. That's why they're making so much money. Because the algorithm is pushing to them. And social media like X, which is what's called Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all of them are involved with these government conspiracy things that are going on. Notice at the same time, all of these, there's a spider web. Hold up, guys. I gotta do this. Notice at the same time that all of these social medias that get big, this is at the same, they got really big during the pandemic. And at the same time, they also got charged with breaking cyber security rules. They got charged with breaches of people's information. Do y'all honestly think that was just done so they could pay back a lot of money? No, that was done intentionally so they wouldn't have no choice. They have to work with the FBI. They had to join in with the government now so that they could keep these sites up. And in return, these selected people that are out there who have joined into these programs, usually by hearsay. One friend says, hey, I know a program. I think you'll be good in this program. And then they be like, yeah, okay. Next thing you know, they're in this program and they are targeting the targets. They are hitting the targets. There's nowhere on social media that I can go and be safe as far as not seeing somebody who is part of this organization. It's more than 10,000 people now. That was back in 2016. We're talking about now we're in 2024. So we probably got at least 50% of the cyber population online community that is involved in this gang stalking thing now. So when the targets come on and think you're going to enjoy social media, unless you got a strong mind, no, you're not going to enjoy it the way you think, because they are ready to target. Your name will appear up, and they'll see that you're on there, and then you'll notice they start acting in the role. They start going into the skit. And that's what I was telling y'all, that Charles and Netta do, and also Peach McIntyre does. That's how I can talk about it, because I know what I'm talking about. I know some of you were like, well, how? Show me. You would not, even if I show you, you still wouldn't understand. You know, but those who are part of the program, they do understand. They do know where it's coming from. And every now and then, well, most of the time you can see them commenting, and they'll start throwing each other, you know, like little stray language from what the topic really is. And those are the other ones who, because you also you get alerted when you're next to somebody who's also in the program too. How do I know that? Because I've seen enough family in it to know. That's how I know. I've seen enough of my family members in it to know that they don't even really like each other, but they light up around each other because the common target is in the presence of them, which is me. So when I'm in the presence, all of a sudden everybody's laughing and talking and happy together. But when they're not together, it's a different story. So see, that's how that works. But in the long run, that's why I'm glad I don't have to fake who I am, and I don't have to sit out here and pretend like I'm this great social media icon, and I don't have to pretend like I got the best home or like I've got the best life. You know what, though? I do have a great life. And I thank God every day that I don't have to submit to these programs and organizations that cause you to hurt others. That's why a lot of them don't sleep at night. You notice those social media people who have big followings and stuff, they don't sleep at night. And do you notice how some of them go to prison? A lot of them are in prison now. A lot of them that got back those loans from the PPP loans and stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah. They're all part of it. You just got to know which part of government is acting out. And you got to understand why they're acting out too. Because all these elections and everything is about control. Control. That's what it's all about. And the sad part is, most of these people who are in these programs really do need the money that they're getting paid. They really do need the money. But they really are messed up mentally. And the government knows it. Because just like I said, anybody with a cell phone, they have access to us 24/7. You think the Obama phones are just Obama phones? Of course not. When have you known the government to give us anything free? And for those of you who talk about those who are on welfare and how they lay up and get welfare for free, no, they don't. It's not free for them. I'm going to tell you why it's not free. Let me break it down why it's not free for our men and women who receive government assistance it's just not free for us. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because most of the people who receive government assistance, you aren't allowed but to make so much money. You aren't allowed but to be given so much money. So that caps you right there. The next thing is the government controls who lives with you, who comes in and out of your home. So it's not for free. It's not without control. That's why these women and men be getting busted all the time, because they have to lie. Or they feel the need to lie in order to keep their family together. And when the social service come around to their homes, and they do still do home checks. They do. When they come around to their homes, those men and women, they have to get out. And they come back when they leave. So yeah, nothing is free. It may look free to y'all, but these people are losing themselves. They are getting humiliated. Families are being torn apart. So no, it's not for free. That's why people like Peach McIntyre and Netta and these other content creators that I'm starting to see now, they are constantly, all of a sudden, bringing up a lot about people who receive welfare, talking down on the women who are receiving government assistance, just talking down on them. These people are not free. We are not free. There are rules that we have to go by. There is a controlling factor that we have to go by. I'm pretty sure that if a woman could have her man in the household and receive them food stamps too, that's what she would rather do. But even if she does do that, and he's not disabled, he got to work or else the whole family gonna lose benefits. So why are you laughing at somebody who's already in a position that is controlled? Especially when you control yourself. And they are more free than you are. Only because some of them choose to be part of these experimental programs like Control Pro and InfoGuard. Just so they can keep a roof over their head. That's why I choose personally, even though I be gang stalked, I choose personally not to take it personal. Because the people that I love are in that number of people who are being controlled and brainwashed. That's why I don't take it personal. I get upset sometimes because I love them so much. I want them to see the error and the evilness that's in this program. This program is patent. MK Ultra is patent. All of this. V2K is patent by the military, by the government. Encourage delusional thinking and represent a dark side of social networking. They may reinforce the troubled thinking of the mentally ill and impede treatment. A 2020 study established a framework to classify and examine the phenomenon of individuals with the subjective experience of being gang stalked. The study confirmed the subsequent serious sequelae of their experience and recommended further research. Now, we know what they just said. Now, you turn it back and flip it back on this. It said it's trying to encourage. At first, they're saying they got these social medias out here exchanging detailed conspiracy theories online. And all these theories are part of the plot to mess your mind up, to make you say, well, okay, somebody's behind this. Maybe it's the aliens behind this. But really, it's people behind it. And our social media sites are infiltrated with all of these people who are hired by the government to say that these conspiracy theories do exist. So how do we know what I'm saying is real? How do you know I'm not a conspiracy theorist? My Bible tells me try the spirit by the spirit. That's how I know. And I never would have believed in such things, and I would have said it was delusional too that are happening. Either I'm a conspiracy theorist, either you believe me or you don't. Either way, I'm bringing awareness to it. Now, I don't want to talk about the rest of this because the rest of this goes into talking about electronic harassment, psychotronic weapons, directed energy weapons, cyber stalking, hypnotic suggestions, remotely assessed, mind control techniques, and also our belief systems. Now, if you ask me why I'm not going to go on into it further, I'm going to tell you why. Because I have learned my lesson that Sometimes it's good to be quiet. Bringing awareness to something is one thing, but when you tell everything that you know, that's another thing. And that can get you hurt. And so I have learned my lesson that some of that is not for me to discuss, but I've told you where you can find information on it. So when you see your loved one acting funny or paranoid or saying that people are doing stuff and you just don't see who's doing it and you're like, okay, she's crazy. Maybe you'll remember that there's a such thing called gang stalking. And here at my house, I call the people the invisibles because I never see them, but I know they've been here. And they let me know all the time they've been here. Sometimes they are very helpful. And sometimes they are a pain in my butt. Now, in the times when they are helpful, it's an indirect help. It's usually something that they're doing bad to me that God turns around and lets it work for my good. I don't know how God does it, but he just does. I would highly suggest you get to know who God is. Do not lean to your own understanding or your grandmama's or your granddaddy's understanding of who God is. Get to know him for yourself. And just know that even when you get to know who God is, you still going to be treated differently. And that's okay. But yes, go and study this and you will get to understand why these content creators are all up in your algorithm with certain things. Now, one lady did have it correct when she said, she was saying, well, maybe we just all like the same things. And that's why we all got the same algorithm or we got the same tone and talk, and word selection. Well, that is true. And I'm glad she pointed that out because that's a good observation and it's a necessary observation because that's actually what they do in order to harass you. They learn your language. They pass your language on to others. They learn the way you think, the way you act, the way you talk, and they pass it on to others to use so that when you get around these other people or you start watching their videos, you're like, oh, I say that. Oh, that's the way I act. That's the way my car is. It's kind of like advertising. They're advertising you to you. If you've ever dated a narcissist, what does a narcissist do? And then later on, when you find out what they're doing, it hurts you to the core. It hurts you bad. It's a form of betrayal. They mirror you. When they mirror you and start acting just like you, it makes you feel insecure. Because now you feel like, oh, all this time I thought that's why they were with me because they liked me for that quality. Not because they actually hated me for the quality. And now this is just them mocking me and making fun of how I talk and how I dress and how I walk. That's what it comes down to. They mirror you to get you to be insecure. That's why you need somebody outside of people to have in your life and love. That's why I chose God. That's why I chose his side. Because when my dad died, all I had was people. I didn't really have God in my life like that. And when I went to the peoples let me down. They didn't have time for my sad stories. They didn't have time for my pity stories. They didn't have time to encourage me back to life. What they had time for was probably like one little good cry. And the rest of it was like, come on now, you're killing the party. You're killing the party. Stop all that. Stop all that crying. If you're going to keep this up, we ain't coming around. And they eventually stopped coming around. Because I didn't know I was having mental health challenges, with grief at that time. Well, that's the same way it is with these people who go in and they do these programs. Y'all hear that? It's like a little plane flying over my head. I'm surprised that there's not a lot of drones out here. There's usually a lot of drones out here, by the way. So whenever you start getting gang stalked, you start seeing about like 15, 20 drones over top of you. You think they're stars until they start moving. Okay, back on topic though. But when they start mirroring you, at first it's a happy moment. Oh, yes. And they start telling you how proud they are of you. They build you up. They put you up on this pedestal so they can knock you down and make you feel really bad. That's why they do that. I would be very mindful of the people you let come around you that always putting you up on a pedestal. Those yes men. You got these yes men out there who's always yesing to everything you say, agreeing with everything you say. Those are the ones you might need to watch out for, because those are the ones that can also pull the rug from under your feet and make you fall harder than ever. And that's the goal of this program, is to see how much a person can take. Can they fall? Can they hurt themselves? The goal is to see, can you make them hurt themselves? Can you program and brainwash them to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else? You know what this all is all about? It's all about control, war, money. Money, power, sex, and control. I forgot who sung that song. I think it was the Locks that sung the song Money, Power, Respect. That's what it's all about, for real. We've heard it in songs. We've seen it on movies. But it's a real thing. Anything that you've seen that they can do on a movie on FBI, about FBI's, you ain't got to tell me twice. From now on, I believe it. I believe it. Because I have seen some things over the last 3 years that... At the same time, I'm mad because they put me in this program. And another part of me is excited to be in this program because I am the type of person who likes to learn. I'm the type of person that, I know it's challenging. I know it hurts. I know it's hard, but I'd like to see, what God is going to do next. So that's, and I do believe that they pick people like me on purpose, because I know a lot of the people that said they was in the program, a lot of them was like intelligent people. And I remember it was different places I was going, and people kept saying, "Oh, you're intelligent, aren't you?" And I just look at them like, I never even thought of myself as intelligent. I just thought of myself as a person. I just tried to be a noble character that God has talked about. I try to be that Proverbs 35 woman. That's why I got to keep my house clean, y'all. Because I never know when my husband is going to show up. And I have to say, come in, can I get you a drink of water? I don't want him to be looking around and say, can you get the bug off the glass first? Okay. But, yeah. So, I don't like this program. I do hate it. But if God allowed it, it's necessary for us to learn something out of this program that's going on. And that is what it is. It's a program. It's been developed. It's been patented. And the only thing they had to do was get people who would agree to be part of it. And these people who agree to be part of it, you just got to realize they are called their bots. You will notice that y'all remember when the zombie movement came out? I think it was like 2017, 2018, when they was, these people were getting hold of these drugs and they were turning into the zombies with the Waka Flocka. Well, you know how they all were acting alike, and you knew what drug they hit because you could tell by the way their bodies were responding to it. You knew that just wasn't no crack cocaine, right? Okay, that's how it is with them. When you get around these people who are part of this program, you will know that they're not being themselves. Now, as long as you ain't on that black list, they'll be themselves around you. They'll be who you know them to be. But then as soon as you are found to be on that blacklist, you will notice either a fearful look from them, or you will notice a mad as hell look from them, or you will notice a disgusting look from them. Every time they see you, they'll be disgusted. They won't, they just give you the narcissistic stare sometimes. And you will notice that now they're faking things or pretending to laugh at jokes that you didn't even make. And you will notice that they stay on their phone a lot, and they'll be pretending like they doing things on and they are doing things on their phone. They're recording you and taking pictures of you, and they are pulling up audio context of you talking and whatever else you're doing. And you would just notice that they are different beings. They're not who they used to be. I used to could go around people and I sit around there, and every once in a while they be themselves. But once that click goes off on them, the MK Ultra, or because see they really get the same harassment too. They just don't realize it. But once I don't know, some people can get set off by just the sound of, and this man kept doing it. He kept doing it Saturday, as a matter of fact, but it doesn't do anything for me, but it does for some people. The sound of keys jiggling and change jiggling in their pocket. For some people, that triggers them into the being that this government program has summoned them to be, because you got to get brainwashed to get in it. It's just like military and the army, because remember, a lot of these programs are they need human experiments. No, they need human subjects so they'll know how to fight these wars and spend less money so they can pocket the money. You know what I'm saying? So they need human subjects, and we are those subjects. They have us at war with one another. That's the best way I can put it. But it's like this undercover war that only few know about. Well, tens of thousands know about it, but only few have true understanding to what this gang stalking war is really about. And really, it's about America versus America. And all the other countries, they are looking at us laughing, and they are plotting and they are planning to do something. I don't know what, but they're planning. Yes, y'all, we have talked the whole hour almost about this gang stalking thing. And I just, it's every once in a while now. I know when it first started happening to me, I come on here every day and talk about, but it's every once in a while now that I feel like I need to talk about it so that I don't even get caught up in it. Because even though I can talk about it so well, it don't mean that, I can't get caught up mentally. Mentally, it is draining. It is exhausting. It's a job. When they work, I work hard at trying to stay me. When they're working at trying to provoke me or get a reaction out of me or make me sick, I'm working hard to keep from getting sick and to remember who I am. So all of us are working. We are working. Some for evil, some for good. And it hurts my heart to see so many who just don't even realize what they signed up for. And I know they don't, because some of the people that they use are like slow people for real. And I mean that in the nicest way ever. They're the sweetest people you ever want to be around. And they're not really all there. Like they will use, like some people have mental disabilities or delayed learning disabilities. They would use them to do certain things, and you'd be like, what? They even got them in the program, and I know I'm smarter than them, so they'll use them to try to make you jealous or make you feel like you less than, like you just don't matter. But just be yourself and remain you. Remain in Christ. Because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because the ones you don't think are capable of turning against you, they really are. This program was designed to create paranoia and to get you to a position of isolation. If they can't isolate you physically, they want to isolate you mentally, where you just absolutely disassociate, don't trust anybody, can't talk to anybody. You know, your system, oh, I didn't forget the name of the system, but I almost called it. They want to keep your nervous system engaged so that you will, have this PTSD. You will have anxiety. Your stress hormones will just keep going. And you gain all this weight. I gained a lot of weight. And it wasn't even that I was, me personally, I didn't think I was stressing, but it put stress on my body. So even though I wasn't in a mental stressful place, my body was stressing. And I gained weight like 115, 120 pounds. And I'm big. I'm big as crap right now. Like last time I was on the scale, I was 450 pounds. You don't think that hurt me? I just had lost over 100 pounds. And then when I got put in this program, I couldn't stop eating sweets. Still having trouble with that. I don't know what it is with the sweet thing, but I'm going to find out. And we'll talk about it again. But I talk myself sleepy. But it's been brutal out here. Stressed out so much. I don't even worry about money, anything like that. And the Bible says God to do it. I've just put my hand into His, and I just believe Him. So all those things did not bother me like that. But the harassment does catch up to you, and even the toughest of toughest people have to continue to train the mind. I did a Navy SEAL training, a mental Navy SEAL training. And this is sad because what I found out, some of the people who are gang stalked are our veterans. Our veterans who speak up because they have been, denied certain benefits from the government, or, they have reported, they have become whistleblowers. They are now gang stalked. And, with them coming from war, or, when they did come from war, a lot of them had PTSD. And just imagine how hard that is on them to come home and try to fight for your benefits. And now you got to fight for what little bit of mind you do got left, because once that gang stalking hits, I mean, these veterans, they're not just jumping and rolling around like that for nothing. They're getting hit with these ultrasonic weapons, these direct energy weapons. And it's, noise harassment 24/7. You have to find your channel. And for me, my channel is in God. And I hope that's who your channel is in. And that's what we're going to end this night with. If you believe in God, I don't know who you believe in, but if you believe in God, then you know that you can renew your mind daily. Let me see if I can find the scripture on it before I go. And even if you are part of it, of that program, and you are the one that antagonizes people, and renew your mind. Let me spell this right. Even if you are part of that, God does forgive. Okay, I do want to mention that to you, that you don't have to go another day feeling shame about what you do, and you don't have to go another sleepless night, or you don't have to continue jumping up to go follow that person that you have been assigned to. Just let it go. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Y'all know that's not God's will for us to depend on the world. Because we are not of the world. We're just in this world. And that's why it hurted me to see so many preachers. And then I got thinking about that. I was at a funeral one day, and the funeral was, I spoke about this man the other day, Deacon Larry Horn. I was at his funeral, and up there was a whole row of preachers. And a woman just kindly whispered in my ear. She said every one of them molested me. And I was like, huh? And I looked different. I was like, what? Because, well, she started naming it. She came back and she changed it. And she named the ones that had done it and got away with it. And I started looking at these preachers different. And when I started looking at them different, I said, oh my God, yeah. They still got a lust spirit on them. And to this day, they still got a lusting spirit on them. And that's because they are of the world. They're not in Christ. When you die in Christ, you give up this flesh. You're not going to be perfect with it, but you will do everything you can to get rid of that. Anyways, I'm going to march on in the house now. I done been out here an hour, and it felt good out here tonight. We got to do this more often. And since none of us knows what tomorrow holds, let us hold the thought of God is love. And we should love one another. And for those who commented on those, that commented about the Peach McIntyre thing and the Netta, y'all please go and search about these content creators who are hired to, it's just like the insurrection. A lot of those people were hired to go out to these communities and say, hey, if y'all don't vote for Trump, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a civil war. They were hired to do that. And then that scared people. That caused people to fear. So they joined in on it. And now they don't know who to believe because they done got confused. So go and research it on your own about how these people create propagandas. The FBI, let me get it clear. The FBI and CIA creates propagandas to put out there to confuse the communities, to confuse people's mind. And if they feed it to you long enough, you become what you eat. Thank God I don't eat all that stuff like that. And by the way, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I can only talk about what has really happened to me. That's all I can do. All right. Peace, love, and happiness, guys. Y'all have a great one.